11th.
We're on.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Town Council regular session for July 16th, 2025. We will begin with item number 1 on our agenda, which is the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilor White, if you could lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilor White. Okay. And roll call, 6 councilors are here, and I understand Councilor Lamatina is excused this evening. Okay. We have 2 items that are public speaking. The first is general public forum, and then we will then have a public hearing on Resolution 2025-2026-2. That is the Conservation Commission purchase and sale of the Rosa Family Trust easement. So to make sure that we're doing these in the right order, the first is public forum. So is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak this evening? If you could come and state your name and your address.
Certainly. Hello, I'm Chris Blackstone. I'm speaking tonight with a quick comment from the Conservation Commission, and I live here in town, in fact, on Spring Street.
Thank you.
So I did want to publicly recognize Tom Jones, who has recently resigned from the Conservation Commission. His work was exemplary for us, and he did an outstanding job with all the ins and outs and fine points of what's required for easement monitoring. Not an easy task, and sometimes the thing that needs to be done by a certain date, and he was really conscientious about doing what he needed to do for the town and for all the legal aspects of easement monitoring. So I wanted you to know, and Joe Public, who might be watching this, to know how much we appreciated Tom's work. Additionally, I wanted to speak on behalf or in endorsement of the 2 applications you see tonight. It's a bit confusing maybe at first glance. You have Zach resigning as an alternate member, but you look down the line and you have Zach wishing to be appointed as a full member. That is due to the resignation of Tom Jones, and for no other reason, but that's not an error in your agenda. Zach is really fascinating as a member, joining us by now 2 years ago. He's quite active with the sustainability community, and his job, as you can see on his resume, you'll see his qualifications, but these are things we're really looking forward to, so we're very happy about his application. And Lucas Fromm. We met Lucas during Turtle Fest, in fact. That was another great sidebar of the Turtle Fest. He came, he was enthusiastic, he asked great questions, and he interfaced with a couple of us quite at length. He's new to the area, but his job is professionally interesting as a wetland specialist to be joining the Conservation Commission. So we're very happy about these 2 applicants. We also have Elizabeth Dudley, recently appointed to the board, so thank you for that. And with her background as a landscape architect, we're thrilled to be able to have somebody else helping us with especially invasive plants that are rampant for whatever reason, be it climate change or otherwise, here in town. So thanks for your consideration of those members.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak this evening? Okay, seeing none, then we will close public forum at 7:04. All right. Moving right along, the next item on our agenda is a public hearing on Resolution 2025-2026-2, a resolution to authorize the Conservation Commission pursuant to RSA 36A:4 to enter into a purchase and sales agreement with the Rosa Family Revocable Trust to acquire a 16.3-acre conservation easement, tax map R5-81, as well as the fee ownership of 23.9 acres of land located in Durham, New Hampshire, tax map 2035-2036, that is contiguous to the aforementioned proposed conservation easement, or take any other action relative thereto. So at this time, I will open the public hearing for comments on the resolution, and the council will discuss this later this evening. So are there any comments on Resolution 2025-2026-2?
Hi, I'm Ellen Snyder, 26 Johnson Drive, a member of the Conservation Commission.
I'm happy to speak in favor of this project. We've been working with Wayne and Janice Rosa for since last fall, I think, and they came to us wanting to conserve their land, which is a wonderful legacy. It's a great property. I think you have a packet that showed the location and the features of the property, and so we started fundraising for this project, and we did receive $100,000 contribution from the Lamprey River Advisory Committee. We've submitted an LCHIP grant for $70,000. They'll have a site walk in September, and then they'll decide sometime this fall. We applied to the Fields Pond Foundation, and we hope to hear from that one in August. And we have a couple other grant applications that we'll submit. The Conservation Commission has made a contribution, and we will be looking to a warrant article for the balance next spring. So we're very happy and thankful to the family, and happy to answer any questions. We are having a site walk on our regular scheduled meeting in August. Is August 14th. It's instead of at 7 o'clock, we're going to do a site visit at 4:30, and so we invite you to participate if you would like to, and we'll keep you posted on that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments on Resolution 2025-2026-2? All right. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. All right, moving right along. Town Council to consider acceptance of minutes is item 5 on our agenda. And folks, we have 3 sets of minutes this evening. The first is the June 18th, 2025 non-public meeting minutes. So those are, since those are non-public, we'll just go right to taking the roll. So if you could call the roll. Oh, we need a motion. I do need the stuff because I can't keep anything straight. At this time, I would accept a motion to approve those minutes.
So move.
Thank you, Councilor White. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Councilor Ward.
Were we
No.
going to suspend the rules and vote on this Rosa project?
No, that's on the regular. You have to suspend the rules to vote on it this night, but it's under the first reading section of the
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah,
Okay.
not the acceptance of minutes section. Okay. Now, if you could call the roll.
Abstain?
Councilor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Councilor White?
Aye.
Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Connolly?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0-1.
Thank you. And the next set of minutes is the June 18th, 2025 regular meeting minutes, and at this time, I would accept a motion to approve those minutes.
I will make the motion.
Thank you, Councilor Ward. Do I have a second? Councilor Dornbluth, thank you. Any comments or changes? Okay, seeing none, if you could call the roll.
Councilor Glazebrook?
Aye.
Councilor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Councilor White?
Aye.
Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Connolly?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, and the final set of minutes is the minutes from the June 25th, 2025 goal-setting meeting. And I would now accept a motion to approve those minutes.
I will make the motion.
Thank you, Councilor Ward. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilor Glazebrook. Any comments or revisions to those? Okay, seeing none, if you could call the roll.
Councilor Glazebrook?
Aye.
Councilor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Councilor White?
Aye.
Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Connolly?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, moving right along. Item 6 is to consider nominations, appointments, elections, and resignations. And we have 5 this evening. The first is Tom Jones's resignation from the Conservation Commission, and I would accept a motion to accept this resignation with regret.
I will accept, I'll make the motion with regret.
Thank you, Councilor Ward. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Dornbluth. Any discussion? No? I also really appreciated his contributions. Councilor Ward?
Tom Jones, I believe, has been on the Conservation Commission longer than I have. He's always been very enthusiastic about the work, and we will miss him on the commission.
All said. Other comments? Seeing none, if you could call the roll.
Councilor Glazebrook?
Aye.
Councilor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Councilor White?
Aye.
Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Connolly?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. And the next is another resignation. And that is Zachary Angelini, resignation as an alternate member to the Conservation Commission. And this time I would accept a motion to accept that resignation with some regret, but not a ton, because we know he's applying for the full. So I'd accept a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you so much, Councilor Ward. Do I have a second?
So-
Thank you, Councilor Dornbluth. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, if you could call the roll, please.
Counselor Claysburg?
Aye.
Counselor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Counselor White?
Aye.
Counselor Blackstone?
Aye.
Counselor Ward?
Aye.
Counselor Conley?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right, moving right along. The next item is Zachary Angelini, appointment as a full member of the Conservation Commission with a term expiration of April 2027. And at this time, I would accept a motion to approve that appointment.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor White. Do I have a second?
I will make, yes, I will second.
Thank you, Councilor Ward. Any discussion on this appointment? Okay. Seeing none, if you could call the roll, please.
Counselor Claysburg?
Aye.
Counselor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Counselor White?
Aye.
Counselor Blackstone?
Aye.
Counselor Ward?
Aye.
Counselor Conley?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. And our last appointment, Lucas Fromm, appointment as an alternate member to the Conservation Commission with a term expiration of April 2027. And at this time, I would accept a motion to approve that appointment.
I will make the motion.
Thank you, Councilor Ward. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Dornbluth. Any discussion on this appointment?
No, just glad to see someone else step up and fill the shoes, so that's wonderful. It's nice to have a really well-equipped Conservation Commission.
Agreed. Thank you, Councilor Dornbluth. Any other comments? Yeah, I thought his background as a wetland scientist was really delightful, and I think he's going to be a wonderful addition. All right, seeing no other discussion, if you could call the roll.
Counselor Claysburg?
Aye.
Counselor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Counselor White?
Aye.
Counselor Blackstone?
Aye.
Counselor Ward?
Aye.
Counselor Conley?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. And the final nomination, appointment, election, and resignation is Ben Buckley's resignation as an alternate member to the Arts, Culture, and Tourism Commission. And at this time, I would accept a motion to accept that resignation with regret.
I will make the motion.
Thank you, Councilor Ward. And do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Councilor Claysbrook. Any discussion? Councilor Claysbrook.
Ben had a child last year and stepped down as a full member to alternate member, and I wish him the best. He was an awesome member to have on there. Did a lot for everybody who was involved in all of the projects, and just will be missed.
Thank you very much, Councilor Claysbrook. Any other comments or discussion? Okay, if you could call the roll, please.
Counselor Claysburg?
Aye.
Counselor Dornbluth?
Aye.
Counselor White?
Aye.
Counselor Blackstone?
Aye.
Counselor Ward?
Aye.
Counselor Conley?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
All right. Thanks very much, everybody. And this time we will, it is now time for the report of the town manager, so I will turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few things that we're starting to work on in the beginning of the fiscal year. First, we have signed a contract with Hubbard Consulting LLC to update two of our core emergency planning documents, the Continuity of Operations Plan and the Emergency Operations Plan. The Continuity of Operation Plans ensures that the essential town services can be done during and after disruptive events such as natural disasters, cyber attacks, or public health emergencies. It identifies critical functions, key personnel, and backup procedures necessary to maintain operations for up to 30 days or more. The EOP, meanwhile, outlines how the town will respond to emergencies, coordinating across departments with regional and state partners using the latest protocols from Homeland Security Emergency Management. These updates are both timely, cost-effective, and necessary. The last ones were done in 2019.
Okay.
I can tell you that the book did not have a whole chapter on something that came up in 2020 because we weren't really planning on a pandemic. But a lot was learned from that situation during that. But by updating it, we remain compliant with state and federal standards as well as position to protect public safety, and we receive Homeland Security grants from that if we have these plans going. The total cost is $6,500, with 50% coming from Homeland Security grant that we're submitting now, and the work will be completed over the next several months with all relevant town departments, including the school district and other entities throughout the community. To go along with that, we have just completed a full update of our hazard mitigation plan, which was last revised in 2018. This was led by the Hazard Mitigation Committee with the support of Stratford Regional Planning and Homeland Security, and identifies risk for natural, technological, and human-caused hazards, and lays out strategies to protect life, property, and critical infrastructure. The updated plan looks at 22 specific hazards, including flooding, cyber attack, public health threats, tropical storms, and aging infrastructure. It evaluates a vulnerability of key town assets like schools, public safety buildings, bridges, dams, etc. And we have done several projects in 2018, the McAllen Dam upgrades, drainage work downtown, and cover replacements, to name a few. The 2025 plan builds on that progress and prioritizes the new work, like backup power for emergency facilities and further stormwater improvement. Keeping the plan current also ensures waste stay eligible for FEMA funding. I've attached a copy for your plan for review. Formal resolution to adopt it will be needed in the near future. As you're aware, New Hampshire DOT, we're working with New Hampshire DOT about managing a drainage replacement project on Packers Falls Road. The scope had grown to 14 structures with an estimated cost of $396,930. DOT initially offered $350,000 in funding, but could not cover the full amount. Public Works raised concern about the lack of contingency, especially if we hit ledge in that area. We met with the Commissioner of DOT, discussed the project. We were able to agree to $375,000, and this is now waiting Governing Council approval. We should be doing it sometime, if it gets approved, we'd be beginning in August. It would take about 45 days. And that is the beginning of the school year. But it is also the beginning of the projects to wrap up things if we were to switch over to an urban compact. So we would not have to be maintaining that road. Another item is House Bill 99 passed and allows municipalities to increase the service-connected disabled credit under RSA 2335IA from the previous cap of $4,000 to $5,000. However, this credit replaces any other veteran-related tax credit that the individual might receive, and it's not in addition to them. Newmarket's current service credit is $4,000. To ensure veterans receiving both the $4,000 credit and the regular $750 credit and don't see a reduction, we could be proposing that we increase the service credit amount to $4,750, or we could just go all the way to $5,000. In 2014, we had 15 individuals receive the service-connected disabled veterans credit in Newmarket, so we're not talking about a large number of individuals. So if I probably, when I write it, I'll look at the $5,000 number.
Okay.
And just an update, because I was asking the attorney where we are with the Clay versus the town of Newmarket. As he mentioned, the case has been briefed, so they've submitted their briefs to the court. The court is not, to his knowledge, in which I looked on the website the other day, scheduled an oral argument. He believes that given the passage of time, he anticipates the court will be issuing a decision without an oral argument. So they'll just be reading the briefs. And he's expecting it any time now, but it's in the court. It's in the court's hands, and the court's a little short-handed right now. And that is all I have tonight, Madam Chair.
Okay. Any comments or questions for the town manager? Councilor Blackstone.
Yeah, I don't remember if I saw this, but did the Department of Public Works ever go to Germany?
They did not. They did not make it.
Oh, I thought it did.
No. They are going to look at it again, but they did not make it.
So-
I'm trying to remember the reason why.
Are they putting it in
Yes.
next budget?
Yes, it's in there to go. It's
Okay,
still
good.
going. I want to say there was illness, and they couldn't. There was shorthandedness or something.
Yeah, okay.
Other comments or questions for the town manager? Oh, Councilor Drumblett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just in regards to the hazard mitigation plan, hazard, of course, sounds very dramatic and emergency-like, but in order to avoid hazards, maybe there are other steps that we can take in the meantime. Are those included in the plan?
There are recommendations in there.
Okay, does that include Could you give an example for something?
For example, if I'm trying to think of one that we haven't addressed for big ones. For example, I'm just going to use if we had a bridge that continued to be flood over,
Yeah,
change the engineering of the bridge. If we have roads that continually flood out, change the culverts in that area. Trying to think, we had cyber attacks, backups, and how to do things off-site and be ready for that as well. So that's what that basically is.
and so key town assets are critical infrastructure, town buildings, and,
Water and sewers. Water's the biggest,
yeah,
followed by probably our computer system. We learned after the pandemic,
Yeah.
and then it'd be major roads and those kind of buildings in that
Okay.
situation.
thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for the town manager? I have just an informational question.
Mhm.
One of the things that you guys had mentioned was the Packersville drainage upgrades.
Yep.
And there's the Public Works has raised concerns about the lack of contingency, especially if ledge is encountered. Can you tell me what that means?
So what happens is when they start digging in that area as well, they already know there is some that they won't dig that deep and they'll hit ledge, so rock.
Okay, there you
And
go. Rock.
They can't get in there, so that's their big
I
concern.
had to learn that word too. It's a New England word.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't
Thank you.
realize it was a New England word. I thought everybody knew what ledge was. Rock.
Rock. Okay.
I read that, I thought, like, there's a cliff?
No, ledge.
This is the granite state.
Yeah.
Leave it to me to ask the hard questions.
I never knew.
What is ledge?
So on the flip side, I was
Rock.
like, how do you not know what that?
Excellent. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Town Manager. I appreciate it. Okay. Any questions or discussion about the department reports? Okay. I didn't have a lot. I did want to commend the town engineer for all the work that that she's been doing, and particularly just taking it upon herself to get training and updating the websites and updating the engineering websites and some stuff for Public Works. I thought that was awesome, and she's adding value in a variety of ways, and just wanted to give her a shout out today. Councilor White.
I just had a comment regarding the police report. I want to thank the officer that had to go check on the kids that were outside playing. The neighbor called into the police station because the kids were outside playing. So, yeah,
Indeed, we thank him for his service.
I'll just leave that hanging.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We will move right on to, next item is committee reports. Are there any committee reports this evening? Councilor Dornbluth.
I have a brief report.
Okay.
The Transportation Committee met twice last week. We met for a site walk in New Village in response to some concerns that have been voiced about the traffic routing and the fact that some of the one-ways that were not clearly identified or maybe a little bit misleading in their layout, so as to suggest that it's actually a two-way when it's a one-way, creating potentially very hazardous conflicts. Which was a very nice walk, and we will be hopefully having a community meeting in the fall to discuss those issues and any suggestions and ideas, and hopefully learn a lot from the community as to what we might do in order to improve the situation in New Village and what we can learn from there for other neighborhoods in town. We also met for a regular meeting on Wednesday and discussed our public transportation changes that are coming to us in the fall, and our Complete Streets project, which hopefully we will be completing with a policy proposal to submit to the council for consideration by the end of the year. For, more on that later, I suppose. It's summertime, and we'll have a hard time, just like we are only meeting once a month. It's a little tricky to keep things going sometimes, but I think we have a pretty full calendar for the fall. So hopefully there'll be quite a bit more coming to us to consider and move transportation forward in town.
Excellent. Thank you, Councilor Drumblett. Any questions for Councilor Dorn? Okay, seeing none, are there any other committee reports? Councilor Glazebrook.
On August 5th is National Night Out. As just like last year, we'll be doing ice cream social in the park, and Truffle will be playing music because it's the last night of the concert series that the Rec's been putting on. So if you haven't been out to any of those, every Tuesday night between now and August 5th will be a different band playing. So just a pre-show and hang out with families and stuff. The art studio and garden tour that happened between our last meeting and this one, and it went really well. It was a very hot day, so turnout was, I think, better than expected given the heat of the day, and it seemed like everybody enjoyed it. There was some art sold from the artists that were displaying it, and I think that something similar to it will continue to happen in the future.
That's great. Questions for Councilor Glazebrook? I have one question. Last year at the ice cream social, the call was put out for councilors to volunteer and serve ice cream. Is that a need this year?
It is. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So it'll be August 5th at 5. The Arts Commission will be there at 4:30 to set up, and then
Okay.
I think that it'll be actually start going at 5.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Any other committee reports? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on to resolutions and ordinances in the second reading. And what we have is the Resolution 2025-2026-1. That is the Master Plan Contract Amendment with Stratford Regional Planning Commission. And at this time, I would accept a motion to approve that resolution. Thank you, Councilor Dornbluth. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor White.
Good evening, Barbara Tana, Planning Director. This resolution is to help us finish, is a request to help us finish the master plan update process. The reason why it cost a little more money than anticipated was the extensive work done by committee members to develop these chapters. So this money requested will help us finish out the project in final draft form, and then further refined by the plan board as they go through the review process.
Questions for the planning director? Okay. Any discussion on the resolution? Councilor Dornbluth.
I'd just like to say that I really appreciate the work that the Planning Commission has been able to offer to the committees. As I've witnessed from the perspective of the Transportation Committee, it was invaluable in helping us move through the planning process for the master plan chapter, and I expect that their work was no less efficient and effective with other committees. So kudos to them, and I really appreciate all the help that we get from the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Councilor Dornbluth. And any other comments or discussion? I'll just echo Councilor Dornbluth's commendation of the work that you guys have done and I'm really delighted with all the efforts that have been put into a really thoughtful development of the master plan. So I'm excited. Seeing no other comments, if you could call the roll.
Council Blaisberg?
Aye.
Council Conley?
Aye.
Council White?
Aye.
Council Blackstone?
Aye.
Council Ward?
Aye.
Council Conley?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. We're moving on to resolutions and ordinances in the first reading, and this evening there are 5. And the first is Resolution 2025-2026-2, and that is the authorization for the Conservation Committee purchase and sale of the Rosa Family Trust easement. And I understand and would accept a motion at this time to suspend the rules to act on it this evening.
I will make a motion to suspend the rules.
Thank you, Councilor Ward. Do I have a second?
Second.
Excellent. Is there any discussion on whether to suspend the rules? That's what's on the table. Okay, seeing none, if you could call the roll.
Council Blaisberg?
Aye.
Council Conley?
Aye.
Council White?
Aye.
Council Blackstone?
Aye.
Council Ward?
Aye.
Council Conley?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. Then at this time, I would accept a motion to approve Resolution 2025-2026-2, authorize the Conservation Commission purchase and sales agreement for the Rosa Family Trust easement.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilor White. Do I have a second?
Second.
Excellent.
So this all started with Wayne coming in the office about a year ago and kind of discussing with me, what are the options for him to, conserve his land. He, told me his story about it and, his intentions. He wanted to see if there was an opportunity for the town to become a steward of this land in partnership with the family. And so we started that conversation, and it just evolved from there. We did they call it not assessment, but appraisal of it. So we started getting numbers. We started reaching out to different partners. Southeast Land Trust is a partner with us, and then we started reaching out to other entities as well, like Lamprey River Advisory Committee. And other opportunities, through grants, and then also the Conservation Commission. So we did bring it to them. They have dedicated about 15 grand towards this through their fund. So we started to put the pieces together, the funding, and luckily it's coming together. As Ellen said before, we've received $100,000. We potentially get $70,000 from LTRIP. And this is one of the reasons why we're in front of you right now. Is part of that process of LCHIP is they want to see a purchase and sales agreement between the two entities, which is the town and the Rosas. So in order for us to be successful in that, we need to demonstrate that we've executed that agreement. So that's why we're here today, is to authorize the Conservation Commission to enter into agreement with the Rosas to further the LCHIP application, further the process, if successful. And as Ellen said too, we will be going to town for we're requesting a warrant article for the remainder of the money. So, in the interim, we'll be doing site walks. We'll be looking for other opportunities as well, funding. So it won't stop just here if they comes out. So, so we're pretty hopeful, and just it really connects with our goals as a town. Preserving this property by easement and by fee ownership. It's in our open space plan. It was just recently updated. It achieves water quality protection through protecting land that will tributaries into the Lamprey and Piscassic rivers. Creates wildlife corridors and preserves them. Creates recreation opportunities to improve our outdoor economy through those recreation opportunities. And it also, part of the agreement is for the Rosas to maintain the field, so we're maintaining farmland as well. Little farmland that we have left. So it buttresses a mosaic of conservation easements already there. So I think this is a great opportunity for the town, and I hope that the council sees that as well. So I'll entertain any questions.
Any questions for the planning director? Councilor Dornblow?
Probably too early to answer this, but since it abuts existing conservation land with existing trails on it, is the thought to extend some of those trails across that land, or would this be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way it's agreed upon right now is that the easement's going to be non-public.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of the LCHIP process. Kind of get a little inside baseball here. If LCHIP money is used on any of the land that you're purchasing, it has to be public. So what we're doing here is using the money that we fundraise and use and other sources to make sure that the easement portion of the land, which is on the Newmarket side, will remain private but conserved, which is the wishes of the Rosas. Meanwhile, the Durham side will be open to the public, so that's where our trail connectivity will lie.
Okay. That was my question as well. Any other questions for the planning director? Okay. Any other comments or discussion on the resolution? Okay, seeing none, if you can call the roll, please.
Councilor Claesbrook?
Aye.
Councilor Dornblow?
Aye.
Councilor White?
Aye.
Councilor Blackstone?
Aye.
Councilor Ward?
Aye.
Councilor Conley?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. All right, we have several other resolutions in the first reading. The first, because this is policy, do I read the whole thing? Or can
No, I was
read
going to
the name
recommend
only?
that you read it by
Okay.
title only.
Okay. So, Resolution 2025-2026-3, this is related to the town investment policy. And, yeah. Do I read this little piece?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. The next one, Resolution 2024-2025-4, and this is the Siemens BMS software migration and installation project, sorry. Whereas the town's current building management system, BMS, is currently hosted by the Newmarket School District, accessed via VPN tunnel via the Newmarket Public Library. Wow.
Yep.
And whereas for cybersecurity reasons, the school district wants to terminate the aforementioned VPN access, and whereas the town of Newmarket has the server capacity to host the BMS, allowing it to be accessed securely within its network, and whereas as of the end of May 2025, the Building Improvement Capital Reserve Fund balance was $165,743.87. Is that something I said? Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Newmarket Town Council that the Newmarket Town Council does hereby approve the expenditure of not more than $22,855 from the Building Improvement Capital Reserve Fund for the complete migration and installation of the existing Siemens DeSigo CC BMS from the school district server to the town's virtual server environment. Sponsored by Chair Conley by request. First reading, July 16th, 2025. All right, next one is Resolution 2025-2026-5. This is the annual lease payment for 2 international dump trucks with plow equipment. So whereas the Public Works Department is paying for 2 dump trucks with plow equipment through a lease agreement with tax-exempt Leasing Corporation, and whereas the annual payment for the 2 dump trucks is $50,783.97 to be paid using the Public Works Capital Reserve account, and whereas the Public Works Department Capital Reserve Fund has a balance of $108,186.63 as of July 1st, 2025. Now therefore be resolved by the Newmarket Town Council that the town manager is authorized to pay the tax-exempt Leasing Corporation annual invoice for the 2 international dump trucks with plow equipment for $50,783.97 due August 15th, 2025, with funds from the Public Works Department Capital Reserve Fund. Sponsored by Chair Conley by request. First reading, July 16th, 2025. And finally, Resolution 2025-2026-6, annual lease payment for trackless MT7 sidewalk tractor. Whereas the Public Works Department is paying for the trackless MT7 sidewalk tractor through a lease agreement with Tax Exempt Leasing Corporation, and whereas the annual payment for the trackless MT7 sidewalk tractor is $33,765.20 to be paid using the Public Works Department Capital Reserve account, and whereas the Public Works Department Capital Reserve Fund has a balance of $108,186.63 as of July 1st, 2025, now therefore be it resolved by the Newmarket Town Council that the town manager is authorized to pay the Tax Exempt Leasing Corporation annual invoice for the trackless MT7 sidewalk tractor for $33,765.20 due August 28, 2025, with funds from the Public Works Department Capital Reserve Fund, sponsored by Chair Conley by request, first reading July 16, 2025. Okay, and those are all the resolutions and ordinances in the first reading. We'll move on to new business and correspondence. Is there any correspondence to be read into the record this evening?
Nope.
Okay. Are there any closing comments by town councilors this evening? Councilor White.
I would
Councilor
yield
Glazebrook.
Um,
Thank you.
August 1st, Friday, August 1st, Backyard Bash from 5 to 9:30 at the rec. Music, all the vendors. It'll be a ton of fun. Bring your families out and your friends, or just go by yourself. And hope to see you there.
Did you say 5 to 9?
5 to 9:30.
5 to 9:30.
Can't miss that last 30 minutes.
Just the fireworks.
That's right.
Oh, well.
Thank you, Councilor Thank you, Councilor Glazebrook. All right. Any other closing comments? Councilor White.
I would let anyone else go first because I'm not a short-winded nor quick person. But over the last 4 years, it's been my honor and privilege to represent the citizens of Newmarket on this town council. I consider it an important job to have served and have used my time on the council to help me understand more of what town government is and what it is not. To my fellow councilors, I thank you all for putting up with my seemingly endless diatribes and my obviously concentrated effort to be heard regarding affordable workforce housing. Subject matter hits close to home and has an effect on myself and those in the neighborhood where I have lived for the past 21 years. Following statement I'm about to make and the claims herein are mine and mine alone, do not reflect views of the town council or that of the town of Newmarket. I'm sure my fellow councilors, as well as anyone else that may be watching this council meeting tonight, or in the future, have grown weary of hearing from me about this subject, but this town is going to force the low to the formerly known as medium income people out of Newmarket, I believe within the next 5 to 7 years, unless things change drastically. These are the same people that just received a 127% increase this past year in their property tax. Let me give you a personal example. I purchased my home in 2004 for $65,000. And that same home 21 years later has been assessed by the town at $155,900. Great selling price for a $64,000 original home. But answer me this. When I sell it, where in the hell do I move? Where do I go? Nothing in the seacoast of New Hampshire is within my affordability range, unless I want to rent a utility closet somewhere. While my income has been increasing over the past 21 years, I can be very honest with you and say that all of those raises combined and multiplied by 10 is nothing in the neighborhood of 127%. Therefore, the math doesn't work for me anymore. The residents of the mobile home park in this and other towns in the seacoast are paying a considerably higher percentage of their income in property taxes than any other income class, and it's not even close. that in and of itself is ridiculously proportioned, and it is causing people to leave the town that they love because they can no longer afford to live here or any other place in the seacoast. And is that fact addressed somewhere in the town's master plan? Let me guess, it's on the schedule to talk about. Currently, to the best of my knowledge, there are no real incentives for any current builder or developer to build or develop affordable workforce housing. If there is, it's a very well hidden secret. Seriously though, why build or develop affordable workplace housing when you can build little holes in the wall of 600 to 700 square feet, 20 feet from a set of railroad tracks, and charge $2,500 a month for it? Who wouldn't want to live there? In the last 4 years I've been a member of the town council, has been little to nothing, in my opinion, done to help the citizens in Newmarket that need the help the most. Every increase in tax breaks for these same people is met with, well, we're going to have to make this up somewhere, instead of maybe this will help a little. Majority of Newmarket's population has never been in the position that they have had to make decisions on whether to pay rent or not, or whether to buy their monthly medications or pay for heating oil. As cliche as it sounds, trust me, it's happening in Newmarket every single month. Maybe not in most of your neighborhoods, but it is in mine. People default on their rent so that they can heat their mobile home in January, February, and March, and they pray that they don't get evicted by April or May. They rob Peter to pay Paul and hope that Paul has a big heart. And please don't tell me that you understand, because most of you don't. Most of the citizens of Newmarket don't. Possibility of being homeless is a real thing that all too many of my neighbors are faced with every single month. There's some residents that are only a couple of paychecks away from losing everything. Right here in these United States, right here in Newmarket, on the streets with names like Harvard, Colby, Columbia, Ithaca, Yale, Princeton. We're talking about, for the most part, honest, hardworking, decent people that have steady jobs. Maybe not the best jobs in the world, but jobs nonetheless. People cannot afford to live in this town due to the ever-increasing tax burden on them. As a direct result of the ever-increasing cost of living in the area and the continually exploding inflationary weight that is being placed on those with incomes less than $55,000 per year, I am moving from Newmarket, not only from Newmarket, but also from New Hampshire, and therefore I'm submitting my resignation from the town council of the town of Newmarket effective at the conclusion of this business meeting. I'll be leaving the state by the fall of this year, most likely September. My wife and I have decided, because of drastic cost of living increase or difference between here and the south, that we're moving to South Carolina, where the cost of living is nowhere near what the Northeast is in general, and New Hampshire specifically. In comparison, the cost of living index for the U.S. is based on a median average of 100 as its base. The cost of living index for New Hampshire is between 150 and 120% of the national average, depending on which chart or poll you follow. The cost of living in South Carolina is between 86 and 88% of the cost of living index, using those same charts and polls. As a quick example, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,000 square foot apartment in a new complex, which was built within the last 10 to 15 years in South Carolina, is currently being rented for between $1,000 and $1,200 per month. And that cost often includes electricity, water, and garbage pickup. In Newmarket, we have 600 to 700 square foot apartments across the street from Town Hall being rented for between $2,300 and $2,500 a month. How ridiculously priced is that? Using the 30% rule for figuring what you can afford to buy or rent, you would need an income of $110,000 plus in order to afford that 700 square foot apartment. That means a total of 2 households in the crossings at Sleepy Hollow could afford to live there, according to our latest income survey. The other 85 would be SOL. Here's a little math problem for you. If the average low and to medium income person making $15 per hour were to save 10% of their income, how is the question that I don't have an answer for. But if they were able to save 10% of their income every week, you know how long it would take them to save enough money for a down payment on a house priced at the median average of the state of New Hampshire, which I believe to be in excess of $500,000. It would take them 57 years to save enough money for that down payment. Let that sink in for a minute. The fact alone eliminates a sizable portion of the area's population from ever dreaming about owning a home, and it continues to widen the gap between the haves and the not in this lifetimes. My wife grew up in Newmarket on Dame Road on Gonnet Farm. We have lived in Newmarket for 31 years, ever since I got out of the United States Army in 1994. Having served for 14 years, and as a result of this most recent increase in inflation and a totally unrealistic 127% increase in property tax, as I said before, I am leaving Newmarket as well as New Hampshire. Bottom line is, it's called Economics 101. If I really had my choice, I would stay in this town until I'm laid to rest, but this is a choice to leave, but it's not my choice to leave. But for my modest six-figure savings and investment accounts, and the fact that both my wife and I are currently retired and living on Social Security and a small stipend from our investments, our savings in retirement and investments will be gone within the next 5 to 7 years. Just as a reminder, I live in a 21-year-old mobile home of 942 square feet on rented land. I paid this year $1,866 in property taxes for that 21-year-old mobile home. And that is after the $750 reduction that I get for being a veteran. I really want to live beyond that 5 to 7 years projected. So, you see, I don't see any way possible for that happening here. In my opinion, only there's no affordable workforce housing in this town outside of the mobile home parks. And they're slowly and methodically being eaten away by the ever-increasing property taxes and the ballooning utility bills of water, sewer, and the electrical costs of powering their homes. There are more empty homes in the crossings of Sleepy Hollow right now than I've seen in 21 years. People are leaving them, abandoning them, and people are going elsewhere. Newmarket as a town always wants to be the best and the newest, with the newest and the most up-to-date everything, and I understand that is a want. But the want and the town's willingness to accommodate burdens the lowest income people who are voters of the most. You see, someone needs to pay for the newest and the best, and the increase in taxes to pay for the new and improved, and the best falls on those that already have overtaxed and overburdened. Where will these wonderful, hardworking people go if they are forced out of their homes in the mobile home park? That's not a rhetorical question, it's an honest inquiry. Where will they go? I'm afraid that some of them will end up living in their cars in a Walmart parking lot somewhere. Think about it. Think that's a bit dramatic? Well, it's not. It's called real life for far too many people in this town. Most of the voters and people in positions of authority in Newmarket and New Hampshire generally will not worry about this after tonight because it doesn't involve them or affect them. But it does. Forget the bottom line for a minute and think of the human beings that are being affected every time you vote yes on a tax increase. Think of that senior citizen that, through no fault of their own, is now on a very fixed income trying to hold on to the home that's been in their family for 5, 6, or 7 generations. Stop and think about them instead of about being glad that it's not you. The middle class in New Hampshire in general and in New Hampshire specifically is gone. And those that once thought they were safely in the middle class now find themselves in the low income category, whether they want to be there or not. The economic gap has widened even further, and something tells me that in the next few years it will widen again. The government of the people, by the people, and most importantly for the people is a thing of the past, and the name of the game now is let's play politics with people's lives instead of taking care of those same people that voted to put all of us into office. And it starts from the top. It would start with the President of the United States, if we indeed had a real one, down to the people that will eventually fill this chair, this very chair that I'm sitting on the Newmarket Town Council. Main problem is that a very small percentage of the help needed gets to the people that need it the most. It gets tied up in some BS subcommittee, or one of the hot air-filled political parties kills it because it was introduced by the other hot air-filled political party. Stop playing with people's lives and do your damn jobs. Take care of all of the people, not just your buddies and those that grease your palms. Our current government is pathetic. Don't get me wrong. I am a patriot that once took an oath to defend this country against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. My oath has no expiration date. I will still defend this country against tyranny as well as oligarchy and the top 1%. I just never thought that the enemy would be so close. I offered to give my life for this country, but this country is now not even willing to reach out to myself and to other people that are falling more and more behind, or disappearing further and further between the cracks, or falling off the playing field altogether. Just sad commentary for this country's current state of disarray, and I pray it's not too late for us to change. Again, I thank you to my fellow town councilors for your time and your dedication to this town and to the people of this town. But please don't forget the people, especially those less fortunate than the top 10%. I hope that I may have caused one of you, someone listening or someone here tonight, to at least think about those in places of need that could use your help. Please do not forget those that struggle the most in this town. Don't forget those that wait on tables and work in the convenience stores, those that work at retail jobs, and those that wash dishes in the restaurants in this and other towns. Remember, they are people that vote too. My fear is that once I leave, my voice and the voice of others in this same boat that I'm in will be forgotten or passed by or silenced. I shudder to think what will happen to Newmarket in 5 to 10 years if something's not done. It has to start at the local level and become a loud voice in the ears of those in positions of authority. If not, the mobile home parks of this and other small seacoast towns will become condo associations with their mid-six-figure condos. And the memories of those that lived in that very place just a few years ago in that 20 to 30-year-old mobile home will be nothing more than a footnote in the town's history. Please do your best to prove me wrong. I apologize to every single person that voted for me this past election and from 3 years ago as well. I apologize that I was not a louder voice and did not make a difference. I hope and pray that someone comes along with a louder voice and a bigger mouth, or not let anyone forget those suffering the most. God bless all of my fellow councilors. God bless the United States of America, and may God indeed help us all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilor White. I feel awkward asking if there are any other closing comments, but I do need to. Are there any other closing comments this evening? Okay. Seeing none, we'll be very, very sad to see you go, Councilor White.
Thank you. Pass that to
I
Chair
will say
Council.
that our next meeting is August 20, 2025. And if there are no objections, I will consider us adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor.